Alright guys, hello and welcome. This is a official league match for the Reddit Dota 2 League between Eastern Standard Time Bronze and Pinecone Breakfast. This is I'm a Bear, and I'll be casting this game for this best of two series actually for you guys. I believe this is game one. It was the replay that was 2 days before, like modified 2 days before the other one, so I hope this is game one. That'd be nice. But anyways, already right off the bat we see a mag ban. You know, it makes sense. Why wouldn't you ban the mag, in my opinion? I've just seen so many good plays get made by a Magnus. I mean, not even just with his reverse polarity. Sometimes it's that skewer or like that shockwave. Like the range on the shockwave is so it's not silly in a necessarily bad way, but it's just so silly sometimes because you're sitting there and you're like, oh, I just got away, and then you shockwaved and you're dead. But another band coming out this time from Eastern Standard Time Bronze, and it's the Knicks. So great band on their part. I mean, Knicks in the next parity patch, I already feel like he's going to get a slight nerf on his Spike Carapace, just because that's such a great asset to any player playing the Knicks. So I'm not unexpected to see him banned. And then we have a Batrider ban as well. So I mean, great mid, real hard to stand up against, especially with that sticky napalm and the Firefly. And I mean, obviously, that once that lasso comes online, especially if seeing this Pinecone Breakfast banned him, they might be thinking of going something like Nakes. Actually, now that I'm seeing both, I mean, obviously Magnus and Batrider, both of their ults go through magic immunity. So we might be seeing something that pertains to that coming from Pinecone Breakfast. And the reason they pick a gyro first, but going back to that, the reason I was suspecting a Nakes is just because of that rage. You don't really want to deem one of your hero's abilities useless. So, but yeah, we saw a gyrocopter picked up by Pinecone Breakfast. Since he was first pick, I don't think that he's going to be a carry of any sort, or pardon me, I don't think he's going to be a carry of any sorts. But we'll see where this goes now. We see a Chaos Knight and an IO picked up right off the bat. And I was going to say, seeing these couple of heroes getting through, I'm not surprised to see them getting picked up. I mean, Chaos Knight IO is such a great combo all throughout the game. So I'm excited to see how that's going to work out. I mean, once you get a couple levels on that Chaos Knight, once that global teleports up on IO, I mean, you can expect to see some hardcore ganking coming from EST Bronze. So I'm going to be right back. I need to grab a drink. And with a minute left in their reserve time, Pinecone Breakfast picks up Disruptor and Enchantress. So I expect to see Enchantress jungling with the Disruptor in a... I don't think it'll be a full tri-lane. Obviously, I think Enchantress would be like the second tri-lane participant. But yeah, those two will be bottom. And I'm wondering now if Gyrocopter is their carry or if he's their mid. I think he's their mid probably at this point, so we're probably going to be seeing an off lane and a carry coming out from Pinecone Breakfast for their last two picks. So we might expect to see a couple of those banned on EST Bronze's side. And I actually think we see the full tri-lane picked up for EST Bronze, and that's the Chaos Knight, that's the IO, and that's the Bane. So I mean, Bane's going to provide some great tri-lane support. Good lockdown. He's a really strong solo character. So I don't think he's going to be rushing any levels or anything, but especially once that Nightmare comes up, That's going to be a pretty deadly lockdown combo coming from Chaos Knight and Bane, and obviously with Io's tether as well, if they can set that up properly. So if those three are going around together, it's going to be hard to get away from them. Pinecone Breakfast doing kind of what I was expecting, banning out a good off lane in the Bounty Hunter. Yeah, I'm wondering, because I'm noticing now that Darkseer has made it through, and he's a great offlaner, obviously. I'm thinking maybe Pinecone Breakfast will. I mean, this may be wishful thinking in a sense, but maybe, just maybe, the gyrocopter is going to be their carry, you know, quote unquote carry, and then they're going to offlane a lone druid. That might be interesting. I mean, we'll have to see. I don't know. I'm just, you know, there's a couple, offlaners that are left. EST Bronze banning out a mid, actually. So maybe they don't think that gyrocopter is actually going to be midding. It's interesting. It looks like Pinecone Breakfast is actually getting rid of some jungle competition in the Nature's Prophet. That kind of leads me to believe that maybe Enchantress is planning on doing a little bit of enemy jungle dipping. I don't know. We'll have to see, I guess. But yeah, there goes the Darkseer. So that offlane potential is toast there. I'm trying to think of a good offlaner that they might pick up. I always like seeing a Brewmaster playing in an offlane. I mean, it's not terribly common. I've seen it played a couple times. I just like watching it. It's real fun to watch that that last second ulti coming up from him. But yeah, we've got about 6 or 5 seconds left for Pinecone Breakfast before they go into reserve time. They're thinking this last ban out. Honestly, they probably know what their ban is, and they're just figuring out the last couple seconds of their picks, maybe. Because all they're going to have to wait through is another round of bans, and then they've got the first pick. And they're actually banning a Weaver, another great offlane character. So, yeah, now EST Bronze is just going to have to consider who they really don't want Pinecone Breakfast to pick up, because they've got one more ban left. So we'll just have to see where that goes. Yeah, just about 20 seconds left in the official ban stage. But, a lot of good carries are actually still in the pool, which leads me to believe that Pinecone Breakfast isn't gonna make Gyrocopter their carry. I don't know. That's just the feeling I'm getting. Like, I mean, they could Faceless. The problem, I guess, they can't Faceless. They could Nakes against this Chaos Knight. It's definitely an option, especially with that Rage and the fact that I think Bane does go through BKB, unfortunately, through Magic Mini, I should say. So they probably won't pick up the Nakes, but I mean, what Pinecone Breakfast is going to be looking for is a good carry who can scale into the late game if possible, or I mean if necessary, I should say, and someone who really can come online mid-game when Chaos Knight and Io are really going to be hitting their stride, because that's going to be key for them to work with the Gyrocopter in order to try and shut down that aggressive combo that we see on EST Bronze right now. They really need to shut that down right away. I mean, there's no doubt about that. So here's going to be the first pickup. This may be a carry pickup. I almost expect to see an offlaner though, just in case EST Bronze decides to pick up theirs in the fourth pick, because at this point there's very few offlaners left. I mean, a lot of them got banned out in that second ban stage. We actually see a Tiny picked up. I was not expecting that. Tiny. Huh. Okay, well, maybe this laning situation... I mean, is Tiny their carry? Maybe they're gonna go like Mask of Madness Tiny or something like that. I don't know, but that'll be interesting to see, I guess. I didn't expect a Tiny, I guess. Yeah, now that definitely leads me to believe that Gyrocopter's going to be the mid. So Gyro's definitely not that carry. That or he's gonna be semi-carry at best. So EST runs in the reserve time, picking up their mid, and it's the Storm Spirit. Yeah, they're gonna be really aggressive, EST Bronze, so I'm gonna keep an eye on them because I can tell that they're gonna be. I mean, from probably level 3. They're just gonna be all over. Wow, okay. I guess I could have sworn that Gyro was gonna be the mid, but now they have a perfect mid in Templar Assassin. Where are Pinecone Breakfast going with this? It's very interesting. Huh. I'm just a little speechless because I don't really know how they're gonna lane this at this point. You know, I can see Gyro Disruptor bottom, Tiny offlane not farming maybe, and then TA mid, and then Enchantress in jungle. I don't know. We'll have to see where that goes. ESC Runs has 30 seconds left. Probably just going to run down their timers so that they can think out their last pick, think out their laning strategies and whatnot. I mean, I expect to see that TA mid. If she goes in any other lane, it's going to be a very interesting choice. Though, I mean, they very well might put her in another lane. And there is actually going to be a Tidehunter picked up for EST Bronze. So EST Bronze, very, very typical pickups right now. We're going to see a Tidehunter in the off lane, Storm Spirit mid, Bane IO, and Chaos Knight in the defensive tri-lane, I'm guessing. And then I couldn't tell you what's happening with Pinecone Breakfast yet. My best guess, Templar mid, Tiny off lane, and then Enchant in jungle, Disruptor, and Gyro mainly in the lane, with Enchantress popping in. I mean, for all we know, we're going to see tri-lane versus tri-lane, and it's going to be Tiny and Tidehunter going up against one another. I'm not entirely sure. So, yeah, that'll be something we'll have to check when the time comes. So, oh my goodness, I think I have directed camera on. So yeah, now that we've fixed that, quick rundown of the teams. For Pinecone Breakfast, we have Tiny being played by Akri, Zufran on Enchantress, Squares on Disruptor, Bushido playing the Gyrocopter, and 1695 playing the TA. And TA is going mid like I expected, but no one else has moved out, so I'm not sure where they're going. We'll see though. On the side of Eastern Standard Time Bronze, we have Goombaki playing the Storm Spirit. Again, Squares playing Chaos Knight, and it looks like they're going to be going into their jungle and making sure that the camp doesn't get pulled, or it doesn't get blocked, pardon me. We have Ryphen, who I believe is a stand-in, playing the IO. Up All Night on Bane, and finally the off-lane Tidehunter being played by the magnificent Magnitude. Yeah, so it's there's all four, almost the entire Eastern Standard Time Bronze is going up to protect their protect that pole camp there. They are definitely running a defensive tri-lane, and it actually looks like, it looks like it's going to be 2 top right here. And it's going to be Enchantress in lane. No, I think it's going to be an offensive tri-lane. I think it's going to be 2 offensive tri-lane versus a tri-lane. We see a ward come up right here. That'll give them some nice vision of this top. And I'm actually trying to figure out what's happening right now, because it looks like that IO is staying mid as well as the Bane. And there's some aggression coming out from Disruptor, and the Chaos Knight's alone. I'm trying to figure out what was. I think they might have just been there to kind of keep the aggression from coming out. I don't know. that must have been it, because now they are rotating back top, as is the disruptor. Yeah, that was just trying to protect the mids from getting into too big of any problems. And we're actually going to see some dewarding coming out from the Bane, so good job on his part. The disruptor is going to do a little bit of hitting on him. A nice little nightmare will keep that Bane nice and safe though. And dewarding right back at them. So some great action coming out from the supports. Down on this bottom lane. Just a little bit of last hitting going, or oh, I thought I put last hits and eyes. Oh well. Just a little bit of, last hitting. It looks like a little bit of harass coming out from each side. So, I don't expect anything too much to be happening down here until Enchantress hits level 6. Then we can maybe expect to see a little bit of, a little more aggression coming out from her. But yeah, she's already level 3 and Ty just hit level 2. So that's very interesting. But yeah, the supports have just gotten back. Everyone's just back into their lanes. Offensive tri lane versus defensive tri lane. Yeah, that Tiny and the Gyro and the Disruptor are here actually, so that's very interesting. I'm I mean, it's pushed up pretty far, thanks to this. I mean, it's just a stack going on right now, but there's going to be a pull, I'm sure. That Disruptor's just going to be pulling his, or pardon me, not the Disruptor, the Bane is going to be pulling his heart out, so, you can expect to see that. Just Disruptor sitting back behind tower just to kind of like get back in this area, just to get a little bit of harass out on the Bane, try to deter him from pulling, which it actually does. So good job on that Disruptor's part. It looks like mid right now, TA and Storm Spirit are fairly even, though TA has denied a little bit more than him and has gotten 2 more last hits. I mean, it's only about 100 gold. Looks like there's a little bit happening right here. Io and Chaos Knight are getting away, but the Bane is getting really dangerously low. Io's running in, probably trying to at least deter the Disruptor, and he ends up doing so. And that giant stack of tangos will help him regen all of that health, so he doesn't have to worry about that. Looks like TA has a double damage rune bottled. Is going to be a little bit more aggressive now against Goombaki mid, so, I mean, she does have the comfort of that bottle, and then when she pops that, which she does right now, she's going to be able to regen all of that mana back that she was using. But it's interesting, because she is, I mean, I would expect to see her to be a little more aggressive against him, just to get a little more damage done on him to make him maybe have to go back. Again, not too much happening down here. It looks like we're going to see Enchantress going in Urn, and Tide is getting a Bracer, so he's probably getting harassed, which I'm not. Yeah, from the levels in Kraken Shell, he's definitely being harassed by this Enchantress. Obviously, you can see he's half health right now, so I mean, against a ranged character, there's not much you can do. There's actually diving going on the part of the Enchantress. Or, pardon me, not on the Enchantress, the Templar Assassin. Almost getting Goombaki. But not able to. She has to back off. Yeah, I don't know. I think that, yeah, the double damage had already been way down. And now, unfortunately, that Storm Spirit's going to be able to regen some of that health back and get a few more last hits. He has been taken off of his game now, with him trailing the Templar Assassin 16 last hits to 21. And now the TA, with a haste, is going to come in, and I think we're about to see First Blood happen right here. Right here, it's going to go down. There it is. Great dive by the TA, realizing that the Storm Spirit was still low health, and taking advantage of that with that great haste rune. That haste rune really is what solidified that First Blood. Not just to be able to get a couple hits on the tower as well. Checking back in on our tri-lane versus tri-lane, we do see the Bane carefully watching over their pull camp. Not pulling yet. I think they're just going to wait probably until the next one. Did see a throw come out onto that Io. A little bit of aggression, some anger coming out. Clearly it was harassed, but yeah, I mean, there's some. He's probably honestly throwing the creeps in just to get a last hit every now and then. I mean, he is 16, and actually he is ahead of the Chaos Knight, which, I mean, considering they are the defensive tri-lane, you would assume that they might have a little more. He would have a little more farm than the Tiny, but that's okay. Not sure what Chaos Knight's going to be going, but the IO actually has a Basilius already, and the Bane is Resident Warder, it looks like. So, and I think he's just stacking. I think he was supposed to be stacking jungle, or maybe he was just warding. I don't know. From that first blood, that TA is actually going to be finishing up a magic wand, and she also has the components for a pair of face boots. So we can expect her to be moving a little quicker now. Enchantress actually picking up a void stone now. So, we'll see what she builds that into. I don't want to say anything yet because I'm not sure exactly, but we'll see. Both teams have their flying couriers now. Good job, guys. Tiny a little low on mana, and it looks like actually the TA, I missed it. TA picked off the Tidehunter bottom, probably with a little assistance from the Enchantress. We can check on that really quick. Yeah, the Enchantress did help with that, so good job. Sorry for missing that, but that's just going to help Enchantress get to whatever she's buying more quickly. So, looks like there are two mid now. The Disruptor is here, probably realizing that he's not serving too much of a purpose top right now. So I don't think there's going to be any aggression coming out from this tri-lane anytime soon, especially considering that they are just kind of staying in lane. I mean, Bane has been going off on his own and warding and whatnot, but the IO has been right on top of that Chaos Knight this entire time, and honestly, they should be leaving that Chaos Knight alone and trying to ward, pulls, you know, get experience from the jungle in order to really capitalize on the potential that their defensive tri-lane can have. But I feel like that they are giving the Chaos Knight some room to get experience, but at the same time, they're severely suffering because of it, and the TA is up here now. We do only have 3 though. Disruptor is, it looks like he's no, he's not rewarding. He is coming up, so we are going to have 4 top. So I think something is going to happen because they are realizing the Chaos Knight and IO are not going to come online when they should. They should be coming online a lot quicker than they are right now. And here's the Disruptor even just sitting out here. There's a stun coming out from the gyro. It is on the Chaos Knight. It looks like that the Bane almost goes down, but he does get a Nightmare off on that Disruptor. There's a great tether coming in. Templar Assassin does pick off the Bane, but the Disruptor actually gets picked off by everyone. Great trap coming out, and then actually a great Psyblade coming out as well, but she's going to get taken down by all the ports coming in. So ultimately it was a 2-2, I believe, trade. It was a 2-2 trade. It looks like Storm Spirit's just seeing if he can pick off any stragglers, which he might find in this Tiny. He's going after him. He can regen, so he's got that regen. I just noticed that he had the regen rune activated, and it's still activated, and he's getting a lot of great regen coming out. There was some great micro of that regen rune coming out from that Storm Spirit. Some really awesome play from Goombaki. I don't even know what to say. That was really cool. I love watching stuff like that. So, and it was a great utilization of that regen rune pickup. I saw him pick it up. It like flashed up in my screen. And I was like, oh, okay, he's got a regen rune. Not worth it. Not worth mentioning because everyone's fighting. But darn, that was awesome. So great play coming out from that Storm Spirit right there. Able to secure that tiny kill and make that a fight in the favor of Eastern Standard Time bronze. And unfortunately, that's going to be a sad Tiny, even though he does have a point booster. So I'm wondering, is he rushing Oggs? I think he's rushing Oggs because he is. I mean, yeah, he's probably rushing Oggs. Interesting. Very interesting. Invis rune picked up by the Templar Assassin, and we see 3 top. Io's not here. Io is actually bottom against the Enchantress, and I don't know if he's going to necessarily be, I think he's going to be staying there because they're trying to rush that level 6 on him. Unfortunately, the Enchantress does have her impetus, and she almost picks off the IO. Just missed it. How much health did he have? Oh, under 50. She would have just needed one last hit on him. Oh, and it looks like Goombaki might actually get picked out here now. You see that stun coming out from the Storm Spirit, and he just flies away, and Nightmare comes out on that Disruptor as well. So, nothing really coming of that little engagement there, unfortunately. But, it looks like Chaos Knight shifted mid to get a little bit of farm. And he might be rotating bottom as well now. Seeing that... sorry guys. Seeing that Disruptor and TA have rotated. And now it looks like Enchantress is just having an easy peasy time. Like 11 minutes, 53 last hits. Doing better than anyone else. I mean, it's... Chaos Knight's only got 28. And, I mean, that he's the first Dire... He's the only Dire hero that even comes close to any of them. It looks like Dire's middle tower is actually going to be going down. A lot of ports coming out right now. And it looks like Storm Spirit is going to go right into the middle. Stuns out that Disruptor. Gets right back out of there. A little bit of micro. Ult coming out from the Tide Hunter. He does get disrupted back though. Or pardon me, he does get sent back by the Disruptor. And nothing really comes of that little engagement other than a little bit of harass from each of the heroes. Templar Assassin coming right back in, melding, getting a little strikes on there. Tether coming out on there. Some great impetus is coming out on that Tide Hunter, getting him down a little bit of half health. Looks like that Tiny is going to get that tower destroyed from a great throw. And then there goes the Storm Spirit getting away and keeping himself safe. TA is doesn't want to let him go. There is a stun coming out on that Bane. Don't think it's high enough level to kill him though. It's level 3. I don't think it's high enough. It doesn't look like they're going to back off though. Yeah, the Dire does take down the stun, but they are kind of able to get some hits on this tower now as well. Great trap set to blow up by that TA on the Tide Hunter, but I mean that was a great tower right there. Great get by the Tiny as well by that throw, hitting right on that tower. So it was a great job on his part. And now the Tiny. I mean, it's so strange to see this Chaos Knight so scared by this Tiny. And unfortunately, he's gonna be scared by the Tiny until the IO is level 6, because the IO is only level 4 at this point. And now we do see a stun coming out on that Tiny, Enfeeble from the Bane, and TA does explode a trap on the Chaos Knight, and he's running. Nightmare comes, the defensive Nightmare coming out on the TA, and they're just gonna get out of there. They know that they can't take that right now, especially with the Enchantress sitting in the side. And it looks like Storm Spirit actually in this whole little thing picks off the Gyrocopter. And Dire's Courier goes down. Oh no! I didn't see that happening, and now here's the Chaos Knight just sitting scared in the forest. And there comes a great meld out. Impetus coming out, just so much damage coming from Pinecone Breakfast, and now they're probably going to get another tower. Doesn't look like Goombaki wants to let it happen though. He's coming. He's going to try and defend something, but I mean the tower's going to go down. There's no doubt about that. Tiny getting the last hit again. Both last hits have gone to Tiny. I'm interested to see what his net worth is right now. He is actually at 4,000, so that's pretty good for him. Now it looks like the TA is stacking, or no, she's just getting a little farm up right now. And the Dire's in a pretty hard-pressed state at this point. Just taking a quick look at XP, they're 4,000 XP behind the Radiant, and they're also, they're all almost 10,000 gold behind the Radiant as well. So I mean, they're gonna have to find a way to get either their Chaos Knight farmed up as well as their Storm Spirit, or they're gonna have to actually get into some engages and come out of them positively. Because at this point, it looks like there's a Drum of Endurance coming up on the TA. And wow, the IO actually, I didn't even notice this happening. The IO actually was able to take out the gyrocopter, and it looks like they are going to be chasing that. Great trap coming out. Though a stun does come out on that disruptor, he's probably going to go down. TA taking out the Tide Hunter, and here goes the Enchantress. One more last hit, taking down that Storm Spirit. That great Nightmare coming out and stopping, but it's not going to stop him. That TA's out for vengeance, as is the Enchantress. They want that. Oh, and a great meld coming out from the TA and just getting that last hit. And it looks like now this is going to be yet another tower in favor of Pinecone Breakfast. Wow. They are just on a roll right now. I mean, taking a quick look at kill deaths assists, 6-1-1 for TA and 2-0 for Enchantress. I mean, ESTB isn't behind by any means. Chaos Knight has 2 kills. Storm Spirit has 2 kills. So it's very... oh wow. I'm just all over the place today. But yeah, I mean, it's still anyone's game. I mean, you see the tower difference. I mean, it's 3 tower difference, but that's not to say that they can't come back. There's a lot easier of a pushing team that Pinecone Breakfast has. I mean, the Tiny's great at pushing down towers, and they do have a lot more flexible range that can like get a little closer in. While the ESTB kind of has heroes that have to stay back a little bit. So, you know, I'm not surprised to really see that they're kind of hanging back a little bit. They might just be getting this. They might just be trying to get that Chaos Knight farmed. Taking a quick look at net worth. Yeah, I mean, because he's the highest on the Dire side. So we'll just have to see where that goes right now. It looks like we've got 3 bottom looking for a gank probably on this Enchantress. Yeah, Reality Reef does come out on the Chaos Knight. Stun's gotta have to come out as well. I mean, that, unfortunately, it's the Untouchable that's making her really hard to take down right now. Looks like another Reality Rift failed to come out, and here comes the Disruptor to save today. Everyone's caught in that silence. That Tide can't even get an ult off. He might get an ult off now. There comes the Nightmare out on the TA, but it's not enough. He goes down anyways, and looks like a great meld coming out from the Bane. I heard the drums go off. TA is going to be trying to get away, but there are 3 there, and she was dusted, so she does get taken down. And it looks like Tiny over here picked off the Chaos Knight in the meantime. So both of the kind of carry hero, or at least the kill carry heroes, have been taken down. But it's unfortunately Dire that suffers in that situation, because now they have a negative KDA, or a negative KD Chaos Knight, and TA is still just kind of wrecking. So they're going to have to really focus on turning this around at this point. Disruptor's smoked, actually. Yeah, that's what I kind of figured. Given some vision to the Radiant of that Dire, behind that Dire tier 2 on top. Yeah, Disruptor's only got wand boots. Not unexpected though. Looks like they were about to go in on that Storm Spirit. Great send back on the part of that Disruptor. That kill brought to you by Disruptor. That was a great play on his part. Perfectly placed ult, perfectly placed send back, and that's what really just killed that Storm Spirit. And now we actually see the Tiny coming from behind. Great defensive Nightmare coming out. So he's stuck there for a second. I think he's just going to back off and go for this tower. And as you can see by that giant tree in his hands, he does have his Ogs. I think he's had it for a little while now. There's another send back coming from that Wisp, but a great tether taking him out, even though he was enchanted. But here comes the homing missile. I want to watch it go. Can it make it? Can it make it? And it made it, but it does not kill him. So good job. Oh, and here's some aggression coming out Tiny getting a stun off and throwing as well. A great call, or not a great call down coming out from the gyrocopter, unfortunately. Tiny almost dead, but gets a kill before getting taken down by the Tidehunter. Unfortunately, a lot of damage coming out on to Pinecone Breakfast. Chaos Knight getting the kill on the Disruptor, and gyrocopter going down as well. And it looks like the TA might be in a problem as well. But she does meld and take down the Chaos Knight before getting oh, no, she might not get taken down. There is a dust out on her, and the IO is actually going to get the last hit. Probably was trying to get it onto the Tidehunter, but it didn't work. So great engagement for ESTB there, and that actually turned into a 4-2 trade for ESTB, which is a great. I mean, unfortunately, their Chaos Knight went down, but both TA and the gyrocopter went down. Unfortunately, I think. Oh, pardon me. I think the Enchantress was bottom the entire time farming, and she's actually gonna. She now has a Aghanim Scepter, unfortunately for them, because that's going to increase her attack range and her cast range on that Impetus. That's not something they want to see, unfortunately. So, and by the way, Zuran, I really like your Enchantress set. So, just so you know. But yeah, right now everyone's just kind of licking their wounds on Pinecone Breakfast side, unfortunately. They're gonna have to farm up and pick up that, that unfortunately lost team fight. So, I love that animation. It looks very cool. It looks like, unfortunately, Gyrocopter is on the wrong side of the fence. He's actually gonna get Fiend Script by the Bane, and I think he's going to get taken down. Yes, he does. Bane using that Brain Sap on him. Nightmare coming out on the TA, keeping her from getting the Bane. And now it looks like, yep, the Disruptor is going to go down as well. Goombaki's going to grab the TA. She is going to go invisible. But she's going to come out and get a meld. Gets bashed by Roshan. That's going to wow! That's going to almost give them enough time to get her. And she's just going to stick around. Unfortunately, she's going to have to try and depend on that. Oh my goodness, is she going to get away? She's got away. And actually the IO and the Chaos Knight get taken down in the process. Oh my goodness, that TA. That refraction saved her life. Oh. Wow. That is amazing. That is absolutely amazing. So, I mean, it could have been a easy free trade on ESCB's part, but turns out they unfortunately gave up some ground again. Now, looks like Tiny is just trying to push away at this point, as is that Gyrocopter. He's actually going to get latched onto by the Storm Spirit. A lot of damage coming out. Nothing he can do. They take him down very, very easily. But top is getting pushed right now by that Fiend TA, and is going to easily get taken down. But now it looks like the Enchantress is in some trouble. 4-second stun coming out from the Chaos Knight. That Enchantress is going to be trying to do some damage. No enchant coming out from her yet, but there's a lot of damage. She does get Nightmared, which is saving her for the moment. Unfortunately, I think she's going to go down, and she doesn't yet. So now she does. Bane taking down the Disruptor. Templar getting 2 kills out of that. Storm Spirit getting 1 on the Enchantress, and actually maybe able to do something against this TA. I don't think so. Actually, she's doing a lot of damage, a lot coming out from her, and great traps exploded there, and she gets to take down the Storm Spirit as well. She might be able to get this Bane. Another great trap coming out from her. If she can get another meld coming out, she can just do a lot of damage, and this is going to be an ultra kill for the Templar Assassin if she can get it. If she's going to do it. No! Nightmare comes out! And the Bane lives another day. Oh, this dive may have just turned very, very bad for this Templar Assassin. She doesn't have a blink yet, and now she's going to get stunned out of her meld. She's going to get... it was a great turnaround. Great way to punish that TA from diving for that last kill to get that ultra kill. not taking away all of that gold that she got in that engagement, but it did do enough. So, real quickly, just gonna look at our XP graphs again and gold graphs. So we've got, I mean, it was at a 10,000 XP difference, but now it's back going down actually to about, I'd say that's about 8,500, maybe 9,000. And then gold graph, ooh, very, very in favor of the Radiant, which is not unsurprising at all considering how that TA has been doing. Current gold, actually with Wisp at the top of the leaderboard, and then we're actually net worth very quickly. We do have the Tiny leading, followed very closely by the Enchantress and the Templar Assassin, bringing up the rear for the Radiant. And then, unfortunately, that Chaos Knight is a good almost 3,000 gold behind. And now the Chaos Knight's stuck here, watching his Tidehunter sitting there. She's gonna Reality Rift, and they are gonna pick out this. It looks like they're gonna pick out this Disruptor. Call down coming out from the Gyrocopter, not hitting anyone, unfortunately. And there still goes the Tidehunter, and it looks like maybe with a good enchant, Reality Rift does come and takes down the Chaos Knight, and there's a triple kill for the Enchantress. And now this Io is very, very sad to be alone. And he's going to be trying to get away, but this Tiny is so fast with those boots. And the Yasha, oh wow, here comes Goombaki trying to save the day, saving his Wisp from going down to the Tiny, and he does with that. Now unfortunately this Tiny with the Yasha is going to be hitting hard and hitting fast. I mean, imagine if the Tiny gets a Hyperstone before all this is through. And now they are actually going to try for a Roche, and I think they're going to get it. So yeah, Pinecone Breakfast should be able to get this Roche very easily, though it does look like that ESTB does know it's happening. I don't think they don't have a ward here at all, but they can probably guess considering everyone's missing except for the Disruptor. So, but yeah, they're going to get it easily, and Tiny's going to pick it up. Not surprising at all. And actually, apparently, I didn't see this, but there was the global gank that I was expecting all along, and that Chaos Knight was able to pick off the lone Disruptor. And now he's probably going to be pushing this a little bit in, because this is the one lane that is relatively pushed, and he's actually going to port out while Radiance Enchantress pushes, pardon me, Radiance Enchantress ports down. And yeah, mid's getting pushed, and it looks like ESTB is just going to defend this right now. They certainly are not at this at all. That Chaos Knight and that Io just proved that. And quick look at, let's see, our kills right now. Chaos Knight is catching up, though unfortunately he's dying a lot. So he's going to have to find a way to, in the team fights, stay up, but get the kills as well. So we'll see if he'll be able to manage that going forward. So yeah, right now we've just got general pushing of the lanes. Oh, that tree cleave coming from that Tiny is just very, very gross. It just gives him some great pushability. Just ugh, blah, blah, blah. I don't like I mean, I love watching it, but it's unfortunate for Eastern Standard Time bronze. Just look at that, look at that. He just like destroys them. I'm telling you, he wants to. I would want a Hyperstone right now. He's gonna get a BKB first, which is the safe and smart thing to do. But oh, I want that Hyperstone. I want to see that up. And unfortunately, just quickly looking at what everyone's got on them, because it's not, I mean, unfortunately it's not much on the side of Eastern Standard Time bronze. Oh, let's wait. There's a stun coming out. Nothing gonna happen though. Yeah, they destroy before it gets anywhere. Poor homing missile. But it looks like top now is gonna get a little bit pushed. Trap getting activated by that TA. and some impetus is coming out on the Storm Spirit. It looks like he might actually go down. He's so low, but he actually, it looks like that the Enchantress is going to pay for overextending a little bit as well. Stun coming out and a Fiend's Grip, and it looks like that TA is finally going to go down as well with that Storm Spirit just jumping in to get a little bit of experience there. 1000 getting that last hit on the Templar Assassin. Looks like that they are out for blood. They're looking for this Tiny now, but I think the Chaos Knight is going to back off. Realizing that it's a little more important for him to stay safe and get the farm. And here's the Tiny now coming to do that push. And here's the Disruptor sending that Chaos Knight back, and it looks like actually the Storm Spirit's going to go down. Ult coming out from the Tidehunter. Aegis is popped on the Tiny, and here goes I think the Gyrocopter might go down. Unfortunately, the Tidehunter is going to get tossed a little bit. He's going to have to back off low health, but I don't know if this Bane's going to be able to wait. No, he doesn't. And there's a stun coming out on the Tiny, but he's just so tanky that low health Chaos Knight cannot do anything to stop him. Now, unfortunately, there's going to be a lot of damage coming out on this tower from the Tiny, and he's just going to have to back off for now. But that was some great play coming out from Pinecone Breakfast, and some unfortunate pickoffs that ESTB suffered right there. And Tiny just finished his BKB because of that. It looks like Gyrocopter is trying to go a mech, but he is pretty far away and it's 30 minutes, so that's not going to be terribly... Or Disruptor. Why did I say Gyrocopter? I thought I had him. Wait. Okay, now I'm confused. Because they're both... I think they're both building a mech right now. That's... I mean, Pinecone Breakfast kind of has the advantage right now, but I almost want to just say, like, shame on you for building 2 mechs. I don't know. I guess if you're winning, it works, but Enchantress has Casual Cloak, and then Oggs, and a Yule Scepter. She's doing great, so... I mean, she's sitting pretty at 725, and that TA is sitting really pretty at 1156, so... And she's got Yasha, she's got Black King Bar. I expect to see a little more up on her, but that's okay. It's been a rough game for everyone. But man, Disruptor having the mech, and Gyro, is that really what it is? Yeah, they both got mech. I don't know if that's a miscommunication or whatever, but I mean, Tidehunter has a Force Staff and a Blink as well as some Mana Boots. Storm Spirit just getting his Orchid of Malevolence, and Chaos Knight barely anything. I mean, that Armlet's really the only thing that's up on him, and he's looking for a Black King Bar, which he's gonna need. I mean, that Bane, he's you know, resident ward bitch, so he's not gonna have anything. And that IO does have the mech actually, and he's got a vitality booster just to get a little tankier as well. But yeah, I think Eastern Standard Time Bronze can still bring it out. Unfortunately, right for them right now, Pinecone Breakfast is just sticking together. They're playing it safe. They're sticking together. And the only one that's really going on her own is Enchantress, because at this point, Enchantress now with her Hood of Defiance, she's fine. She doesn't need that much attention, and now she can split push that bottom lane while the other 4 members of Pinecone Breakfast take on mid. It looks like they might have thought that that was the... Oh, here comes out a great title. Some great damage coming out. BKBs are activated, and it looks like Goombaki was in trouble, and Disruptor actually goes down from the Chaos Knight. Fiend's Grip out on that Tiny, keeping him from doing any damage. Chaos Knight getting the Gyrocopter in the process. Great initiation on the part of EST right there. Unfortunately, it looks like I was just going to go down to that Enchantress, but Enchantress might go down to Chaos Knight, and the Storm Spirit right now, she does get a great Yule's off on herself, and she is fast enough and has a heal up right now that now, unfortunately, yeah, she just gets stunned out of the Nightmare, and now I think she is going to finally go down. Another great team fight going in favor of Eastern Standard Time Bronze, and they're going to have to find a moment at this point to push, in my opinion. I don't think they're actually going to be able to, but now it does seem that the Chaos Knight is going to have a fully finished Black King bar, which will help him a lot in the team fights. I mean, they only lost the IO in that fight from what I saw, so that was some great play coming out from them. I mean, they're doing what they need to be doing. They're playing it safe. They're, you know, just watching for those overextensions that Pinecone Breakfast are doing, because they're getting a little too aggressive. They're not remembering that, you know, ESTB still has a very, very good setup. They have a great team comp. Everyone complements each other very, very well. And now that Chaos Knight can dish out a lot of damage, especially with an active Armlet, we'll probably see that happen right here. Great crit coming out, 1,000 crit. And the missile is going to be going after him. And it looks like it's going to catch him. And unfortunately, I think he's overextended too far, and he's going to get taken down. And it looks like the Storm Spirit, who was trying to save him, is going to get taken down as well. Yeah, he ran out of mana. He didn't manage that correctly. But he did get that gyrocopter in the process. So, not all was lost, but unfortunately that's a good minute of the Chaos Knight not being able to do anything. Great send back again on that part of that Disruptor. Sending back that Tidehunter and just giving them time to deal out the damage on the Tidehunter and taking him down. Oh, this Disruptor is just doing fantastic plays. Watching sendbacks like that, coming right into the middle of his stun, of his little stun. What is that even called? Kinetic field. I always call it the stun wall for some reason. But yeah, he's. I mean, I just when I see that, I just am reminded of that play he did earlier in the game where he had just sent back right in the middle of his silence. And, just so great play coming out from him. Sorry, I'm fawning a little bit, but here comes the Enchantress. Looks like she's gonna try and get a little pick off on the IO. Might not get it. There's a throw in on the Disruptor. And it looks like there might be, yeah, that IO is going to get picked off there. Here comes the Storm Spirit into the middle of it, trying to get a little bit of a pick off there. There's a BKB getting activated on the Tiny, with Zuron getting a pick off on that Storm Spirit. Chaos Knight getting the Disruptor while Bane actually denies himself. So now that Chaos Knight's still a threat, so getting a stun out on that Enchantress, keeping her from pushing. Bane does buy back. We do see the Tidehunter, Bane, and Chaos Knight are up at the moment. But I think this mid tower is going to go down to the Radiant. Actually, there is a Nightmare coming up on the TA. Reality rifts her in, stuns her for 2 seconds. But there is a call down coming out from the Gyrocopter. There's a great stun, great throw from the Tiny, taking out that Chaos Knight, and it's able to run right back and take the tower, and now he's going to get the racks as well. It looks like, and this ranged barracks is going to go down. While Chaos Knight actually great ult coming up from the Tidehunter. They're going to try and be taking out that TA, but Tiny is getting some great hits out. It looks like he might go down to that Chaos Knight. Tidehunter very, very low. Actually, the Tiny's taking out the Tidehunter. And he's so low, but he does have his BKB up, and he's actually able to take out the wow, great play coming out there. Triple kill from the Tiny. If you watched, he was on like 50 health, between 50 and 100 health that entire time, and now with Nature's Attendus, he was able to get a little bit, and so now he's able to back off. And unfortunately, that kind of engagement is not the one that Eastern Standard Time Bronze wants. I mean, while their Chaos Knight is strong, it's very clear that crit is not enough to save them at this point. They do need help, and it looks like Pinecone Breakfast wants the Roche. Now they got middle racks, they've got a little bit more time, they're like, why not get the Roche? I don't know if the Tiny's going to take it necessarily, because they are going to have to, they're going to have to take it down quick. Though their Chaos Knight isn't up, the Chaos Knight isn't up for another like 15 seconds now. But yeah, I don't think the Tiny's going to be taking this Aegis at this point. I think it's Enchantress maybe? I don't know. They seem to be guarding it, but I'm just waiting because, yeah. No, Enchantress picks it up. But yeah. There's actually going to be a pipe coming up on the Enchantress, so I guess 2 mechs and a pipe, why not? I guess the 2 heals on the mech make the mech more viable late game. It's just the armor bonus doesn't apply at all. It looks like they're going to push back this bottom lane right now, since almost the entirety of ESTB is mid right now, which they have to be, because they have to keep this lane pushed, especially because now there are mega creeps on it. So, and apparently Radiant's courier had gone down some point there. I didn't know. There is actually 2,200 gold sitting on that gyrocopter. I'm curious to see. Go for a minute right now. Did you see there was 5,000 gold sitting on the Tiny? I want to know what he's gonna go. I don't think he's gonna go what I want him to go, but that's okay. So it looks like he might be going. He looks like he's gonna go Manta. I was really hoping to see that Hyperstone come up on the Tiny, because I appreciate a good Hyperstone on a Tiny. So yeah, this Enchantress right now, it just looks like she's keeping vision on that Bane, maybe trying to pick him up. Oh wow, there's a stun coming out on this Disruptor. Disruptor looks like he was overextended a little bit, but now the Chaos Knight actually is the one that's in trouble, with everyone kind of just circling in on him. A great cooldown coming out, a lot of ults coming out, a lot of damage. Bane going down first, with the Gyrocopter following. Chaos Knight being killed, Io going down, Tidehunter as well. No one fallen on PB's side, and the only one left is Goombaki. It's just so much to stand up against, and Eastern Standard Time Bronze realizes it with that call. So I mean, it was some great play coming out from Pinecone Breakfast, and wow, Stormspirit actually picking up the Gyrocopter right there, but Tiny taking him down. But yeah, oh yes, it was the first game, awesome. But yeah, I mean, there was just some great. I mean, ESTB had 2 great team fights there, but there was just some great plays coming out from Pinecone Breakfast. Obviously, that TA was very, very farmed, and she was, I mean, 16-6, and the Tiny was 11-2, and I mean, you see the 11-10 on the Chaos Knight, and you're like, wow, 11 kills, but then you remember, well, he's died 10 times. So even though he has farm, he doesn't have enough. He only had a BKB and a armlet at the end of that, whereas, you know, Tiny had a Manta and a BKB. Templar had a Manta, BKB, and a drum. And then Enchantress has a hood, has the Aegis, has a lot. So just overall, a lot. Hold on, I'm gonna see if I can save this first. There we go. Okay, but just, you know, some great play coming out from both of the teams. This has been a Reddit Dota 2 League match, the first in a best-of-2 series between Pinecone Breakfast and Eastern Standard Time Bronze. This has been I'm a Bear casting, and I'm going to move on to Game 2 in just a few minutes, so I'll see you guys in a second.